Once upon a time, a wise and old king lived in a prosperous kingdom. The king was deeply concerned about the future of his kingdom, and he wanted to ensure that the next generation of leaders. And he doesn't have children. To find the most honest youth in the kingdom, the wise old king devised a unique competition. He announced that a grand contest would be held, and the winner would receive a treasure beyond imagination. The challenge, however, was kept a secret, and the youth of the kingdom eagerly awaited the day. On the day of the competition, the king summoned all the young men and women to the palace. Each was given a small, identical seed by the king. The king instructed them to plant the seed in a pot, nurture it for 3 months, and then bring it back to the palace. The one who grew the most beautiful plant would be declared the winner. Among the participants was one young man. He planted the seed in a pot, watered it daily, and made sure it received enough sunlight. But to his dismay, after weeks of care, nothing sprouted from the soil. As the days passed, the young man got anxious. He saw his friends' plants growing tall and lush, while his pot remained barren. 3 months later, all the participants returned to the palace with their pots. The grand hall was filled with vibrant flowers and tall, healthy plants. The young man, however, stood at the back, holding his empty pot, feeling ashamed. When the king entered, he inspected each pot carefully. The hall buzzed with excitement, but the king's expression remained unreadable. Finally, he reached the young man. The sight of the barren pot drew whispers from the crowd. "Your Majesty, I have failed," the young man said, bowing his head. "No matter what I did, the seed you gave me did not grow." King smiled gently. "Then, why did you not replace the seed when you saw that it wasn't growing?" The young man looked up, surprised by the question. "Because, Your Majesty, you gave me this seed. It would be dishonest to present anything besides what I was given, even if it meant losing the competition." The king's smile widened. He turned to the crowd and declared, "As the young man is the winner of this contest." Gasps filled the hall. "But how?" the others murmured, confused. The king said, "The seeds I gave you all were boiled and could not possibly sprout. The plants you have brought were grown from different seeds. The young man alone was honest enough to present me with the truth, even at the cost of his victory." The young man, heart swelled with pride and relief. The king continued, "The treasure I promised is not gold or jewels, but the knowledge that you are the most honest among the youth. And for your honesty, I appoint you as my advisor and offer you the opportunity to lead the kingdom in the future." The other participants, though disappointed, learned a valuable lesson that day. They realized that true victory lies not in appearances but in the strength of character and integrity. And so, the young man, who thought he had lost everything, gained more than he ever imagined: honor, respect, and a bright future on the king's side. The kingdom flourished under his honest leadership, and the story of the king's test of honesty was passed down through generations as a reminder that honesty is, indeed, the best policy. In our own lives, much like in the king's test, we often face situations where the pressure to succeed or the fear of failure can tempt us to compromise our integrity. The story of the young man's honesty reminds us that true success is not measured by outward appearances or immediate victories, but by the principles we uphold and the character we build. In a world where shortcuts and deceit can sometimes seem like the easier path, this tale teaches us that sticking to our values, even when it is difficult, ultimately brings the most meaningful rewards. Honesty may not always lead to instant success, but it builds a foundation of trust, respect, and self-worth that stands the test of time. Just as the young man gained the king's trust and secured a bright future, we too can create lasting impacts in our lives and the lives of others by choosing honesty and integrity over expediency. In the end, the true treasure is not found in material gain, but in the peace of mind and the strength of character that comes from living truthfully.